This is just a small selection of YouTube shorts with the tag DisneyBound.
Today we're DisneyBounding as the characters from Aladdin.
If you don't know, Disney says costume and costume masks may not be worn in the park. DisneyBounding is the enthusiastic way to get around it. If you are bound for Disney, you want to be Gaston. You get as close to him as you can.
We've got Jafar, Iago, Aladdin, and Jasmine.
You need to approach the edge of Elsa because you are a Disney adult. How did the Disney adult happen? Childhood children, they're so cringe. Stop. I think this trend is not about psychology and it is not random. It has been engineered.
The energy and excitement is palpable.
I'm going to tell you how MBAs, not Mickey, created the Disney adult. I talked to the New York Times best-selling author who understands this group better than anybody.
There are actually more adults without kids in the parks than there are adults with kids.
And I dove into the corporate history like Scrooge McDuck into a pool of coins. I think that by the end of this video, you'll see that Disney adults are not an accident. They're all part of the plan. In 2008, Disney Mom 145 went on disboards.com and asked, "What do you call a Disney fan?" Disneyac, Walt Weirdo, Disney Freak. I was shocked to learn that the term Disney adult is so new. You can find the phrase as early as 1992 and in a guidebook a year later, but both are largely in the context of a full Disney family. The modern sensibility is the Urban Dictionary definition: a millennial adult with or without kids that can't stop talking about Disney. Obsessed and terrifyingly intense. Can you tell me a little bit about the chronology of you writing about Disney, like as a full-time vocation?
Disney fan websites started back in the 90s. I sort of grew up in my Disney adulthood reading all of those original fan sites.
AJ Wolf is the author of the book Disney Adults, and she runs a Disney food blog where they make stuff like the Disney Adults Crawl Map with alcohol that gets served at Disney. She is a card-carrying Disney adult and a guide to this world. She told me about this one bar that I think is going to blow your mind. But first, I've got my own food tie-in. Okay, so this week I have been cooking, not ordering expensive food, and that's because the sponsor of this video is Home Chef. Okay, so I'm so excited about this. If you don't know about Home Chef, they send you a super customizable meal kit for as many times as you choose a week. You can go oven ready where you pop it in, express, or full meal that is really easy to cook. The recipes are super easy to follow, and this is why I like it. You always learn one little thing. They give you helpful little tips that help you level up just enough each time that you cook a meal, and you get a delicious meal at the end of it. I really love this chicken, and I also love the steak that I had.
Steak with spinach and cream artichoke dip.
And then before that, what did I have before that? Oh yeah, I had that pad thai. I'd never cooked anything like that before. I have been a Home Chef user for a long time. The recipe that I had last night, it had some panko in it, and Home Chef taught me about panko back in the day. Now I own panko, so you can take what you learn and use it in your recipes. I have literally bought this as gifts for people, so I want to pass this gift on to you. Thank you to Home Chef for sponsoring this video. Go and head over to the link that I've got in the description or use the QR code and code PHIL50. You will get 50% off and free shipping on your first Home Chef box. It is totally worth a try. You've got to try it. And thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Now let's go ahead and get back to it.
The brand new Geo82, an adults only 21 and up lounge.
Adults only lounge.
Disney adults, good news.
There's finally a spot in the parks where kids are not allowed.
Okay, so this is the adults only bar inside Spaceship Earth at EPCOT.
The first Disney adult-focused lounge in a theme park using that prime real estate is amazing to me that they're like, yeah, we can see very clearly that this is where our money is coming from.
How did we get here? The fact that it is a relatively new phenomenon is a big clue.
We're here today to meet the Chief Executive Officer
Let's jump back to 1984. What was the Disney adult like then?
Michael Eisner and his lovely wife, Jane.
Michael Eisner was CEO of Disney from 1984 to 2005, and he had inherited a company that was pretty stale.
I did not come to this organization to watch it be dismantled.
Look at the 1984 annual report. It says, we joined Disney at the culmination of the most difficult period in the company's 61-year history. This is the scary graph here. The red is entertainment and recreation money. Think the parks. The blue is filmed entertainment. The yellow is merch. The purple is community development, like real estate. Do you see how the parks are providing a lot of the money? This is kind of backwards. A media company should be leading with the high margin, infinitely scalable media, not the parks. Michael Eisner had to fix this.
Anything that we can think of that is innovative.
He started by boosting Touchstone Films, which his predecessor created that year to release movies for adults. Their first movie was the hit Splash. That poster went on the Disney Adults wall. Disney's Hollywood Pictures, founded in 1989, did a similar thing with Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia, a thrillometer.
Miramax continued the trend in 1993. That is right, corporately speaking, Quentin Tarantino was a Disney adult. Eisner also eventually bought ABC, not a big storehouse of characters. So you can see that his strategy for expanding Disney's media market is focused on adult stuff that isn't particularly Disney-like. The big intellectual property or IP project of the Eisner era, Disney's string of animation hits, was cordoned off for kids. In the parks, Disney also raised revenues in 85 and 86, and it worked, largely because of price increases. Disney Cruises and vacation clubs launched in the 90s as well, giving families and adults more options. In that 1987 report, they showed welders working on a facility called Pleasure Island. It was a string of nightclubs that was very non-Disney adult. There was almost no classic Disney IP. It was a 90s Fantasia for adults who watched Splash, not Fantasia. He's kind of planting these seeds for Disney adults in a lot of different ways that end up sprouting unpredictably.
He's kind of the father of the current Disney fan millennial. You know, like it was his tenure that created all of those films that the current stereotype of the Disney adult is addicted to, right? He did a lot in the parks in terms of creating these events that are wholly adult focused.
If today's Disney adult is stuck in childhood, Eisner's Disney adult had grown up and was interested in booze and mating and all sorts of other stuff that wouldn't appeal to 8-year-olds. In Kim Master's book about Michael Eisner, she quotes this email where he says, age decompression is key. The age was compressed to kids. He wanted decompression. Those who think Disney is only for kids are dead wrong, he wrote. As the 1999 annual report shows, Eisner had nailed the revenue flip. Remember that old chart about how the parks carried everything? Thanks to the Disney animation revolution and more, the media side was now the biggest part of the company. But Eisner's adult strategy had problems. Many of the park expansions had little to do with Disney IP. Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster was his pride and joy, but it was kind of random. ESPN Zone and Disney Quest, a kind of super arcade, were also underwhelming and not really related to core Disney IP. In an article about Eisner's faltering, he admits missing out on both Pokemon and Harry Potter as potential Disney acquisition targets. These were big mistakes. So Eisner had crafted this Disney adult that was seeing Gone in 60 Seconds while the Disney kid was seeing Mulan. Neither of these were adding the optimal amount of value to the overall company. In 2003, a new Save Disney movement was launched to oust Eisner, focusing on stuff like a fractured relationship with Pixar. So the question becomes, what happens to the Disney adult when you take the Disney adult IP away? In 2005, Robert Iger, Bob Iger, replaced Eisner. Iger bought franchises that could live in film, TV, and parks. 3 giant acquisitions weren't about single movies, but intellectual property franchises. Disney had started down this path a little bit. In 2003, Disney had put out the relatively racy Pirates of the Caribbean, pushing the edges of the Disney brand, while amping up Disney IP. It was based on a ride, after all. Disney had also acquired the Muppets in 2004, but it was Iger who supercharged this strategy. This had concrete results, from big park expansions based on the acquisitions to renaming old rides. So you had the Eisner additions, the price increases, big new fancy looking hotels, the addition of alcohol and fine dining. But the adult media was going away. I don't think you can understand the Disney adult without understanding the media that changed Disney as a company. You could only be a Disney adult if you were a superfan, and internet tools only accelerated that trend. I was really interested to find out about the timing of D23.
The excitement that keeps us going year after year and generation after generation comes from all of you, the fans.
I think that Disney realized that these Disney communities were growing online, and they're like, well, we want a piece of that, and we also want to control the message that's going on out there, right? This was the first time people were talking about Disney publicly in such a huge way that Disney was like, wait a minute, we need to control this. And so they created their own official fan club. At the same time, they also created something called the Moms Panel, which was basically a play on the forums. What it's grown into now is these mega conferences that fans just, again, it's hierarchical. You have to do it in order to be a real Disney fan.
The new events aren't Pleasure Island. They are G-rated affairs that fit in with the type of arrested childhood that we recognize in Disney adults. There's like Dapper Days, Jollywood Nights. Sorry, I'm like saying some of these words out loud for the first time.
It's okay. All right. You're in good company.
There's the wedding industry.
Those events are fan-driven events. The Disney adults are obviously so invested that they're creating their own fractured niches off of this fandom. The Galactic Star Cruiser fans have now created their own conference that they do every year.
Well, there seems to be a love for Disney that is beyond what I've ever seen from almost any other company.
I am not a Disney adult. I'm a Twin Peaks adult, but I don't want to mock Disney adults. So why bother making this video? The first thing is, we all live in glass houses when it comes to corporate media. I was shocked when reading Bob Iger's memoir to learn that he's the guy who greenlit Twin Peaks. I live in Bob Iger's house, whether I want to admit it or not. But I don't want to be too understanding of the Disney adult. I still don't get it, and I think a lot of the behaviors, the merch drops, the spending, the collection, it comes closer to addiction to me, and I do find it disturbing. I think that our passions should ask more of us than just our money, and they should give us more than just pleasure. I don't think Disney clears that bar. At the same time, psychoanalyzing the Disney adult, I think that is a dead end. It's not nice, and it also doesn't get at the real reason that Disney adults exist, which is corporate strategy. I want to give AJ the last word on that.
My connection to Disney comes from, is rooted in my connection with my dad and music. And he and I really bonded over the EPCOT Center background music and would listen to it even when we were not at Disney and connect with each other on that thing. That's where the profundity comes from. It's not Disney itself, right? Disney's not an end in itself for anybody. I don't think. I hope not. But it's the experience you have with your family. It's the experience that you have maybe by yourself when you are there on a solo trip and you're sorting through some stuff. And Disney is a place that offers you a soft place to land to work through some things you need to work through. It's not about Disney.
I do think that it is important for us to look structurally at how the Disney adult happened through evolving approaches to intellectual property, because that might help some Disney adults chasten their relationship with the company in a way that is healthier. At the very least, it might be healthy to at least think of that before you go Disney bounding again. Or maybe Disney bound as, somebody else, somebody who likes to wear white button downs with nice black cardigans.
I'm here in the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida.
All right, that is it for this one. Thank you for watching. Go check out AJ's book. It is a great exploration of Disney adults featuring lots of interviews with them, figuring out why they have this passion. And even if I don't have it myself, I think it's an interesting read. The other thing is I put out a newsletter with every video that gets into something that I couldn't get deeply into in the video proper. Now, I decided that intellectual property was the Rosetta Stone for decoding the Disney adult, but I think that the story of alcohol in Disney is an interesting one. So if you subscribe to that newsletter, you can go check out that article. It's totally free to sign up for, and it lets you know what I'm up to as well. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and have a good end of summer.